Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn a new chapter, a very interesting chapter. Chapter 7, Fractions. You all know what is a fraction, isn't it? What is a fraction? Fraction is the part of a whole object. It is the part of a whole object. Okay, I show you a fraction. See, it is a whole object, isn't it? I cut it into parts. How many parts are here? 2 parts. There are 2 parts. So, 2 parts are. Okay. Then, what is each part called? I divide this whole into 2 equal parts. This whole object into 2 equal parts. And each part is called 1/2. You know that? നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇതെല്ലാം നമ്മൾ കഴിഞ്ഞ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷം അതെ തേർഡ് സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡിൽ ഇത് പഠിച്ച പോയത്. Okay, this is 1/2. It represents 1/2. See, this is the fraction. This is a fraction. This represents this area. This area represents this fraction. Here another half is also here, isn't it? See, this also another part. This is also half of this whole. The area. This area is also another half of the same whole. This same whole in the whole object in the another half is this. This also represents another half. Okay. This also, it is called a fraction. Fraction is the part of a whole or a collection. That is also here. A fraction is the part of a whole or a collection. Okay. See, here, how many halves are here? Here are 2 halves. 2 halves in a whole. 2 halves in a whole. രണ്ട് half ആണ് ഒരു whole. It is half. HALF. Then halves. HALVES. 2 halves. Plural form. That's what the half or halves. Okay. 2 halves make 1 whole. Then one whole is 2 halves. This represents a fraction. So, part of a whole is called a fraction. What is a fraction? Fraction is the part of a whole. This whole object is a part. This is a fraction. Here we divide this whole into 2 equal parts. This whole cut it into 2 equal parts. Then the equal parts are shaded. Each part is called 1/2. It is 1/2. And this also another 1/2. There are 1/2s. So we can say there are 2 halves in a whole. 2 halves in a two halves in a whole. See, in this fraction, say I write it again, 1/2. This is a fraction. In this fraction, the number below this line is called the denominator. What is it called? Denominator. It is the denominator. And the number above the line is called the numerator. This is the numerator. Denominator, numerator. Very important points. The number below this line separates these 2 numbers. No? The number below this line is called the denominator and above this line is called the numerator. And what is denominator and numerator? See, what is this 2? This 2 is the total number of parts. I cut this whole object into 2 equal parts. This 2 equal parts are cut. That represents this 2. This 2 parts. How many? The total number of parts. That represents the denominator. Total number of parts represents the denominator, and out of this how many we selected, that is the numerator. This area we selected. Only one area, isn't it? That is why it is 1. See in another way, we I draw another picture. Okay. Very easy picture. I cut it into 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 parts. See, I divide this whole object into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. 4 parts are to cut here. That means the total number of parts is 4. The total number of parts is 1, 2, 3, 4. That represents the denominator. Yes, that represents the denominator that is below this line. Okay. Out of this 4, I am going to shade one part. That's enough. One part. Out of this 4, I shaded one part. This represents the numerator. It is numerator. Understood? This denominator and numerator. Denominator is the total number of parts into which we divide the whole. A whole object we divide parts. That is the denominator. Out of that, how many we selected? How many we shaded? That represents the numerator. Okay, children? Yeah, I shaded only one area. This area I shaded. That is why the numerator is 1. I column shade. Then this represents denominator no change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the total number. Then what about the numerator? Here I shaded 2 parts. That is why the numerator is numerator is 2. Numerator is this shaded area represents this fraction 2/4. Clear? This is 2/4. 2 is the shaded area, 4 is the total number of parts. It is 2/4. Okay, children. This is the area we already discussed in last year. Okay, these are the revisions. We want to take your textbook page number, which is the page number 88. Page number 88. Okay, children, let's do this exercise question 7.1. First one, look at the following figure and fill in the blanks. See, according to this figure, we want to write the answers. Okay, first one. How many equal parts are there? How many equal parts are here? See, you all count the parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How many parts are there in all? 16. 16 parts are there. How many equal parts are there? That is 16. What fraction is each part of the whole shape? The small one, no? What fraction is each part of the whole shape? That is, small one represents 1/16. Small one represents 1/16 because there are 16 small shapes are there inside this whole object, whole shape. The whole shape in the 16 small shapes on. But each one represents 1/16. The fraction for each column is 1/16. Then see what fraction is shaded. You count the shaded columns. How many columns are shaded? Count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns shaded. Out of what? Out of 16. Out of 16 it is 8. Means it is half. Half area shaded. 8/16, the total 16 are there. So, half of 16 is 8. So, yes, 8/16 means half. Half part shaded. Half of the columns shaded. Then, D. What fraction is not shaded? That is also 8 by 16 because total 16. It is 1 by 2. Okay, that is the first one. The second one. Question number 2. What fraction for each of the following? One is done for you. ഒരെണ്ണം നമുക്ക് ചെയ്ത് കാണിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. See, you can write all this in your textbook. Second question. What fraction for each one of the four? Right fraction for each of the following. First one, 2 parts out of 5. 2 parts out of 5. And then what is the fraction? Write fraction for each of the following. See, you write the fraction for this. 2 parts out of 5 means total number of parts 5. Then out of this 5, how many parts we selected? That is 2. See, this represents 2 by 5. 2 by 5. 2 by 5. Then write 2 by 5 is 2/5. It is also written like this. 2/5. F-I-F-T-H-S. 2/5. The next is what is B? 3 parts out of 7. 3 parts out of 7. 3 parts out of spelling S-E-V-E-N. This also F-I-V-E. Both are correct anyway. Okay, 3 parts out of 7 means what is the total number of parts? It is 7. That represents the denominator. This 7 represents the denominator. Out of 7, how many we selected? 3 parts. That is the numerator. Then how do you write this? 3 by 7 is 3 sevens. 3 sevens. There is 3 sevens. S-E-V-E-N-T-H-S. Is it clear, children? Is it clear? 3 sevens. Yes. Then 1 part out of 3. 1 part out of 3. But total part is 3. That represents the denominator. Out of that, 1 part, that is the numerator. It is called, how do you write this? 1/3. 1/3. T-H-I-R-D. 1/3. Then 4 parts out of 9. 4 parts out of 9. I will write here D question. 4 parts out of 9. That is total parts 9. That represents the denominator. Then 4. That is the numerator. How do you read this number? 4 nines. It is 4 nines. Understood? Fraction and its number name. Fractional number, അതിൻ്റെ സ്പെല്ലിങ്ങും തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതായത് 2/5 2/5 എന്ന് 2/5 2/5 എന്ന് നമ്മൾ പറയും. അത് ഇങ്ങനെ പറയേണ്ടത് 2/5. Then 3/7. Then 1/3. അവിടെ എസ് വേണ്ട കേട്ടോ. 1/3. Here 4/9. 4/9. So you read this spelling also. 4/9, 2/5, 3/7, 1/3. Okay, what is next? And third one is for this collection. Here are some stars. Some are colored and some are not colored. What is the fraction for the colored stars? See, first you count how many stars are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stars in all. Then out of this 9, how many are colored? 1, 2. 2 stars are colored. What is the fraction for the colored stars? That is the first question. What is the fraction for the colored stars? Means, what is the denominator here? That is the total number of stars. That is 9. Then how many are colored? 2. This is the fraction for the colored stars. Then what is the fraction for the uncolored stars? What is the fraction for the uncolored stars? Okay, you can write uncolored stars. How many are not colored? 7. 7/9. That is the answer for second question.